You know, Memorial Day here in America is a special time where we acknowledge and we vow to never forget and really honor those heroes that have fallen, those people of the service and our military service that have paid the ultimate sacrifice with their life for our freedom. You know, after the Civil War, we had lost so many people that we had to create these national cemeteries. And by like the 1860s, people would come out to these national cemeteries and they would bring flowers, they would change flowers, they would freshen up and decorate the rocks, and some would pray. It was a time that they spent and remembered their loved ones and decorated their spots. And by 1868, we made this very day, this very act of coming out to the cemetery and honoring and decorating the loved ones, and we created a holiday. We named it Decoration Day. And by 1971, that Decoration Day, it was later changed and it led to what we now know as Memorial Day. That amazing day of honoring and where we vow to never forget. And you know, with me covering music and hip hop, I gotta say, in making this video, I found it funny and a little strange because, you know, the hip hop in the US military, they have always had this strange and this rocky relationship. I mean, because the hip hop culture was always very anti-establishment and a disregard for authority. F the police. I mean, the great Muhammad Ali himself, who was known to spit a little rhymes every now and then, he even took a stand and went up against the government, and he refused to enlist. I mean, but then over time, because hip hop was having such a massive impact, not just in music, but in business and schools and churches, at our workplace. I mean, the hip hop culture, it had managed to sow and leave its very fingerprints, not just on government, but in the hearts of our country. So with this change and with great impact, it comes great responsibility. You know, hip hop became more accepting to the military and troops and even the PD. So with that being said, I want to make sure that I take a little bit of time on my channel to my audience to really talk about some of the hip hop artists they didn't pay the ultimate sacrifice, but they were willing to make that sacrifice. These are three amazing rap artists that we are very familiar with at this channel that was willing to pay the price and that served in our military. Now, the first one we all know by the name of Canibus. We know Canibus from his beef and his ties with Eminem here at this channel. But you know, a lot of people have had beefs and diss tracks and what they call misunderstandings with Eminem. Rather they are backpedaling or decided to change their mind. A lot of people in the past have said that their whole beef and their whole conversation with Eminem was just a misunderstanding. Now we all know that that was just a backpedal and clout chasing rather the case, but I must say 2001 Canibus beef with Eminem, that was probably the only real misunderstanding for sure. Now, I'm not here to talk about the beef, that is another video to cover, but I do want to talk about Canibus because he served in our army. So not only him being a phenomenal freestyler and sometimes his ability went constantly overlooked, but what was vibrantly clear is that, man, this guy had a talent, and in his at his peak, he was one of the greatest for that short time of his era. But not only that, there was a time that Canibus, he got a little discouraged with this whole rap and hip hop in this industry, and he decided that he was going to take some time off and he was going to serve our military. Actually, here's a clip of what Canibus said in describing just why he decided to serve.
What year did you enlist in the? You went to the Army, right?
Yeah, 01. Yeah.
01. So that was that right after BC?
So 2000 BC came out in 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of give us like in the Army.
Yeah, it was right after September 11th. So pretty much that experience. I mean, what can I say, man? Like at that time I made a record. It was the See True Hollywood Stories. That was the album.
Mm-hmm.
The album was, it was satire. I've heard people say, yo, it's satire. It's true. It was. It was just done to kind of like allegorically, like make an album that was, just get under the skin, you know what I mean, of folks that was saying that, yo, man, I need the records to be harder. I want you to spit harder, the beats, the lyrics, I want more. And then I gave them less. Right, by making a record like that. And the record was strictly just something it wasn't serious, but it was like something that it was still palatable. It was something that was tangible. You could have went out, got the artwork, you look at it, you open the fold out,
right.
Who's this guy wearing that shirt, and why is he writing that? And then we paid 25 bands for the Source ad, to run that ad.
So crazy.
The Source, and you know what? Fools. The Source was scared to run the ad because of the relationships that they were saying could have been ruined, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they did it for the money.
Of course they did.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, and then after that, they turn around and blackball me further. You know what I mean? So, and took money, you know what I mean, to like blackball me, right?
Wow.
So, you're talking about that record was made like at the way I felt at that juncture was like, you know what, rap ain't it. And I'm still young enough to go out and make a difference
and do something else.
That's right, and pretty much like be a kaiju in a way, for, try to do something good, right? But then, of course, you make records, and you do a record like do a record like Draft Me, and you say a lot of crazy stuff on a record, and then you grow, you get older, you see things, other people see things, you become privy to certain things, and you're like, man, wow, it's like everywhere you turn, you're trying to make a difference, trying to make a change, and you kind of find yourself like adding on to some of the things that have made the world more disconnected.
Boy, our next guy we must talk about is Mr. Ice-T. You see, because Ice-T, he was a little bit different from Canibus as to he didn't have a rap career and then went to the military. No, it was his military life that birthed this love for hip hop. You see, when he was in high school, towards the end, around about 17 years old, he had already had a girlfriend and a daughter. Now, because of financial situations and him wanting to provide and needing a way to provide for this new family at a very young age, he felt, hey, let me just go to the military. This is gonna help get me some money for my daughter. So he joined the Army. So in 1979, he joins the Army for about 4 years in the 25th Infantry Division, in which he was a great soldier, and he was a squad leader in Hawaii. It was there in Hawaii that he states that he purchased stereos, turntables, a mixer, and speakers. And he found this new love and this new interest of hip hop. So he gets out of the military to pursue this newfound interest. Here's a clip of Ice-T actually talking about a rug story, about when he was in and how he stole a rug and he went to military jail, and it was pretty funny. It's very interesting. Let's play the clip.
I went down and I just signed up, and I basically went in for uniforms. Like I went in there and they were like, well, This one, you get a $2,500 bonus. That's infantry. I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Right.
And they go, if you do airborne, you'll get a red beret. But I'm like, I'm from a Crip hood. I can't come home in a red beret. Right?
Really?
Right? And so they said, well, if you do this, you're a ranger, you get a black beret. I was like, black? That's kind of dope, like the Panthers. That's gangster.
It's true. You almost want to kind of like go in for the uniform.
Yeah,
You're not even thinking about the reality.
I don't even know what these things are. Then
Right.
they said, I said, what's the green beret? They say, well, that's 52 weeks of basic training. That's advanced individual training. That's special forces. I'm like, nah, that's too long before I would get to my post. So I got Ranger qualified. I went to Darby and Benning and Jump and all that.
But even in the military, you got in trouble. You got caught stealing a rug.
Sergeant who realized some of us had special skills.
Right.
And he started asking for stuff like, I want this. We need a bumper pool table. And me and a couple of guys would go around the post and steal the shit and put it up in our area. And he thought it was cool. So then he got cocky. He's like, I want an infantry blue rug for my office.
What?
And I noticed there was one in the guest house.
Yes.
So we
And you want to be the
Impress
favorite to your
the
CO,
boss,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was a crook. And so
Right.
we went in there with a box cutter, cut a big patch of the right dead out of it was a blatant crime, right out of the middle of the guest house, just ripped this thing out. And we got busted because no one came to pick us up. The guy that was supposed to pick us up,
Where did he go?
he flaked. So we ended up having to put it in the cab, and the cab driver ratted, and I got woke up by CID. It was a long story. Anyway, what ended up happening, and I got put in jail.
Military jail.
Yeah, military jail, but they made a mistake.
In the prosecution of you?
Nah, they gave me my $2,500 bonus while I was in jail.
That shows you bureaucracy, doesn't it? You're in military jail, and they give you a $2,500 bonus.
Cash.
Cash. You're like, what?
I'm out of this motherfucker, right?
Last one. Next is a Marine. Man, and I am very biased when it comes to Marines. Marines are the best out of all the services. We have tons of family members that served in the U.S. Marines. I mean, I guess this is why I made this viral TikTok. Due to COVID-19, we had to pull back on a few of your rights, so we're gonna have to quarantine you. But I just wanna make sure that everybody is on board. Hey, how about you over there? You good? Take that as you find. Hey, huh? One hitting the punching bag. Hey, you good with this? Nah, I hear you. But we fighting after this. Wait, fight? No, we ain't gotta do all that. No, it's... Oh, yeah, we definitely fighting after this. Oh, all right. Sir? Sir, are you good with this? Hello? You think you can do this to me? It's not me, sir. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do my job. After all I fought for, think you can do this? Sir? No. No, don't you? No, but all jokes aside, we need to talk about probably one of hip-hop's favorite Marines that you may not have known, Nate Dogg. You know, rest in peace. You know, Nate Dogg, he was a Marine. You know, Nate Dogg, he was a Marine, and he died at a very early age of 41. Basically due to complications and multiple strokes. I mean, Nate Dogg, he was such a good lyricist and freestyler, but an even greater singer. I mean, from 1992 to like 2006, he was known as the king of hooks. Everyone wanted Nate Dogg to do their hook during that time. Just in 2003 alone, Nate Dogg, he charted the Billboard's 100 16 times. Now, his story is a little bit more complicated. I mean, because it is the Marines and it is a lot more tougher and intense, man. But he was in the military for 4 years there in Japan. Now, records do show that Nate Dogg, he ended up getting dishonorably charged after that. But You'll never guess why. Well, actually, maybe you will, because this is hip hop, but records show and indicate that he was discharged because of smoking weed. And that had led to other altercations with regards to a girlfriend and whatnot. But with all that being said, it don't take away that, you know, he served and he was willing to sacrifice his life for 4 years for you. And you know what? I think Eminem said it best when describing just the impact that Nate Dogg had. Nate's voice and music will never be replaced. He helped create the blueprint for West Coast hip hop. And I was one of the lucky people who had the privilege to work with him and the honor to have him as a friend. Nate will sorely be missed. My condolence and prayers goes out to his family and loved ones. You know, with that being said, these are some of our special hip hop artists that, you know, joined our military. There are others that I could talk about, like MC Hammer and Shaggy and even Elvis Presley. It was not necessarily a hip hop artist, but I mention him because a lot of people like to say that Eminem is the Elvis Presley, but those are some of our great people that was willing to pay the ultimate price. And in closing, I hope that you all go to their Twitter and Instagram on today and say thank you. You know, hashtag Memorial Day. I mean, if you really want to honor and really show the essence of Memorial Day, don't say happy Memorial Day, but just tell them thank you. And, you know, let them know that they are appreciated and that you are aware of just what they did and what they were willing to sacrifice for this country, for you. I mean, because when you're a veteran, every day is Memorial Day for you. And all those who have served, they know that the risks are high, but the risk for freedom is even higher. Thank you for watching.